Everyone experiences pain in life. Tragedies and trauma is part of this life. However, we don't have to carry around unresolved pain long after we have experienced it. In this episode, we will discover how to disappear, heal pain quickly and easily, transforming that very pain into feeling whole and complete, free, grateful, abundant, and more inspired about life and the future. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want to welcome you to the AOM Art of Manifestation channel. I'm Manifestation Coach Sterling Mire. Go ahead, settle in, click the subscribe button and tick the bell for notifications of new weekly videos, and let's get going. Everyone else, welcome back, all you powerful manifestors. Now, I'd like to start by examining pain and how it gets created. Firstly, something happens in our lives, and from there, we create an interpretation or meaning about what happened. In other words, what happened is simply just that. Something happened, and that is all. It does not come with an assigned meaning. We are the ones who give it meaning. In fact, we create the meaning or interpretation of what happened so quickly, we don't even notice the process of doing so. And that's why I'm going to explain further what this process is by breaking down the creation process with this example, all right? So let's say I lose my job. So what just happened? That job has ended, period. That is all. You see, there's no meaning until I create a meaning. Upon receiving news that I lost a job, I then have to move to the next place, labeling it good, bad, right, wrong. So let's say I label it bad, and I have to move to the next place and create why it's bad. So maybe I decide to create the meaning it's bad because I have no income, which then I create to mean I'm broke and I imagine having no money at all. Or I'm going to starve or go without X, Y, and Z. See, there are countless meanings I could create. And I can even create that it's good and then move on to create why, because I'm going to find something much better. It's totally up to me. And what I create is neither right or wrong. However, I will experience whatever I create, and including the outcomes or consequences that follow what I create. That is how we create our experiences and results in our lives. We create our reality and we experience what we create, and it's totally up to us what we create and experience. Now look at life. What is this thing called life? How do we interact with it? Life itself is simply a series of what we create in our experience of it. Cleaning my house can be created to be fun and rewarding, but only if I create it to be so by saying it through language, spoken out loud or spoken within my mind. Alternately, I could say to myself, it's time to clean the house, and it is so boring and exhausting. And this will be my experience because I created it to be so. Is this making sense? Okay. Now I've laid out a background on how we create our lives. So let's look at how we create pain and suffering, and also how to transform it. Pain is associated with some form of experiencing loss. So just take a moment. Just take a moment right now and think about some of the anger or sadness that you may be experiencing right now or recently in your life. Think of the pain you're holding onto and carrying around. Notice how that pain includes some kind of experience of loss. Losing friends, family, loved ones, pets, losing jobs, the loss of our abilities and our physical losses, loss of material things such as money, loss of love, loss of recognition and appreciation, and many more kinds of losses we experience in life. We experience these negative emotions, and others around us do as well. Obviously, nobody wants to experience negative emotions or pain. Nobody. So, what can we do to disappear negative emotions that stem from unresolved emotional pain? we create the opposite of loss, which is gratitude. Gratitude is being thankful for something that we have. I'm going to break down how to not only experience gratitude, but to disappear suffering instantly through gratitude. When we are experiencing success and happiness, the experience of suffering from losses in life is absolutely nowhere to be found. In fact, we can't even relate to it because we're relating to gratitude. We are hyper-focused on it and what we have with that gratitude. We're saying to ourselves, I'm so glad I have this. We are celebratory, we're elated, we're fully satisfied and fulfilled. We have forgotten our losses, and so they cease to exist for us in that moment of our lives. Pain and suffering from a loss only resurfaces when we shift out of a state of gratitude. When we are solely focused on what we are truly grateful about, pain and suffering instantly disappears because we are only aware of what we have, not focused on what we don't have. The more we're focused on gratitude of what we have, the more we create going forward that which to be grateful for. Gratitude expands and starts showing up in our lives. And it's that simple. Gratitude shifts our perspective of what was lost, healing us and disappearing any grief we may be carrying around. Gratitude is actually our essential, authentic self. And the truth of gratitude sets us free. Staying focused on what you're grateful for is the key. I always recommend either speaking it out loud, what you're grateful for, or writing it down. You have to be so focused on what you're grateful for so that you're hyper connected to it and emotional losses or pain will neutralize and disappear. So you can talk to yourself all day long about what you have to be grateful for. Give yourself permission to try this gratitude experiment just for one day even. That's my invitation. That's my challenge. Just for a day. Just to see what happens, because this gratitude experiment could be the game changer that you've been searching for. Let us know what you got out of this experiment of only being aware of what you have to be grateful for. Share your experience of this experiment with us by leaving your comments. We love comments and we do respond. If you want to learn more about mastering the manifestation process, feel free to visit our website, getyourlifenow.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next week, I hope you manifest magic and miracles in your life.